Electronic Votive Music is an application that seeks to reacquaint users with their ability to create music. It is based on John Cage's concepts of randomness in composition, noise as music, and art's ability to connect us to the transcendental. In 1946, Cage agreed to tutor Gita Sarabhai, an Indian musician who came to the US to study Western music. In return, he asked her to teach him about Indian music and philosophy. This exchange influenced greatly the composer's thought on music. In 1973, Cage said that the role of music is to, quote, sober and quiet the mind, thus rendering it susceptible to divine influences, unquote. Cage's philosophy made me think of the tradition of votive objects, which are sacred creations that are offered to spiritual entities without the intention of recovery. They are generally made in order to gain favor with supernatural forces, such as your own creativity. In Mexico, where I come from, anonymous individuals post paintings in temple walls to thank the saints for miracles. The paintings are made before the miracle occurs and become mediative objects. Common votive traditions include Buddhist mandalas, Greek and Roman household deity sculptures, Indian clay sculptures, and Jewish votive actions. Despite their aesthetic beauty, votive objects are mostly about doing something valuable outside of the social realm. Pictured here is a Mexican ex voto, in which an individual thanks God for the health of his ill child. Electronic votive music is my version of an ex voto. While I'm not religious, I see tremendous value in taking art outside of the realm of the social and letting it inform our notions of transcendence. So how does it work? Let's imagine a user. Her name is Sue. Sue has heard of the app and is interested for a few reasons. She has seen the videos of beautiful and surprising audio visuals. She would like to get into daily journaling. And most importantly, she would like to use the phone outside of the noise of social media and work. That night, after downloading the app, she sets up the app in the way she wants to use it. The device asks for a few important questions. Could you please say your name and say something about yourself? Can I put your phone in Do Not Disturb mode when we play? How much time can you devote to each of our sessions? And how many times a day can we meet to make music? The next day, right after waking up, Sue takes her phone and tries the app. Sue talks to the device and her voice is fed back to her distorted.
I have a new philosophy. I'm only going to dread one day at a time.
The sound is musical and folds and overlaps itself, creating an interesting sound. A sound wave animation on the screen allows her to understand how the voice interaction works, and a multi-dimensional shape grows organically from the middle of the screen. Every new recording session follows a similar formula. The app will use a word prompt for her to start recording, and the audiovisual feedback will elicit interaction. It is possible for the user to disregard the prompt altogether as she builds familiarity with the sound distortions and effects. Through the course of the day, the user should become more familiar with the outcome of her recording sessions, therefore gaining some agency over the sound and visuals. At the end of every new session, the user's three-dimensional shape will evolve into a fully formed voice sculpture.
College. 200 people reading the same book. An obvious mistake. 200 people can read 200 books.
During the last session, she will be instructed to point her phone's camera towards the included target image. This is what we've made today, we'll say the disembodied voice of the app, as it projects a three-dimensional visualization of the shapes that the user has created using augmented reality. The shapes will appear to be floating, moving and morphing based on a music track composed by the app. This track sampled the user's previous recordings, overlapping them next to few instruments to generate something resembling music. The user can move the camera around and explore the creation using her phone. But eventually the app will declare the session over and it will make the sculpture disappear. So we'll be given the opportunity to make a new contract for tomorrow. With the opportunity of making new voice sculptures every day, some may want to build one with a friend. By accessing the app's multiplayer mode, she and her friend can collaborate or even disrupt each other's efforts. There are no rules or value systems that decide if a voice sculpture is done properly or not. This is an opportunity for her to interpret technology in her own terms. The prototype. Currently, Electronic Votive music is divided in two: a Unity app for augmented reality and a processing sketch for everything else. This is a demonstration on how the app works in processing.
That's the difference between me and the rest of the world. Happiness isn't good enough for me. I demand euphoria.
I use the metaphor of the tree for my first voice sculpture at the moment, but I would like to implement truly procedural solutions. This is a visualization of the augmented reality component. The music that animates the voice sculpture is made out of multiple voice recordings done through one day of the processing sketch.
Control, productivity, performance,
My next steps in development include the creation of a mobile interface. These are some sketches that I'm starting. Includes also consolidating the sketch from processing with the one in Unity, designing procedural voice sculptures, and develop the multiplayer section. Thank you.